Have you ever stood before a door and felt a cold shiver run down your spine, even though there was nothing inside but darkness? Have you ever abandoned your dreams just because of an echo from those around you saying you aren't good enough? We often spend our entire lives running from monsters, but here is the heartbreaking truth. The most terrifying monsters don't live under your bed or hide in dark caves. They live right inside your mind. They grow larger on your fear, and they become stronger every time you choose to turn your back and run. Today, I want to tell you a story about a rabbit, a dark cave, and the lesson that can change how you face every storm in your life. Don't look away, because you might just find yourself in the image of that poor rabbit, and perhaps you will find the strength of a warrior in the place you least expect it. Deep inside a forest, surrounded by green hills, there was a huge cave where a rabbit lived. This rabbit didn't have sharp claws like a tiger or the earth-shaking strength of an elephant. The only thing he had was a heart of gold. He was very kind, always standing by others in times of trouble and helping as much as he could. But life isn't always gentle, even to the kindest souls. One morning, the rabbit went out to look for food, weary of eating only leaves every day. Luck was on his side, and he spotted a fresh carrot, his favorite thing in the world. You know that feeling, right? When you've worked so hard and finally touched the fruit of your labor. The rabbit picked it up, deciding to take it back to the safety of his cave to enjoy it in peace. But then, disaster struck. In his joy, he wasn't paying attention and slipped near a river's current. He saved himself by grabbing a tree root, but the carrot slipped from his hand, fell into the water, and disappeared forever under a deep waterfall. Exhausted and heartbroken, with no energy left to search for more, he just wanted to go home. The cave, the only place he felt safe after a terrible day. But he didn't know that his real trial was only just beginning. At the very entrance of his familiar home, the rabbit froze. A sense of dread washed over him. With a shaky voice, he called out, "Who has entered my cave?" The response wasn't silence. Instead, a thunderous voice boomed from the darkness. "I am the one who breaks a rhino's bones and crushes an elephant into dust." The rabbit's heart nearly stopped. He trembled and stepped back. In his mind, that cave was no longer a home. It was the lair of a powerful beast he couldn't possibly fight. So he went to find help. He looked for the strong. First came the wolf, full of confidence. But when that frightening voice boomed the same threat, the wolf shivered in fear, admitted he couldn't handle it, and ran to hide in the bushes. Next was the tiger, the king of the jungle. He roared fiercely, but the cave's echo made his own power seem small. He thought, "If this creature can defeat rhinos and elephants, how will I survive?" And he too ran away. Then came the rhino, stomping in anger, and even the mighty elephant. Both, upon hearing that awful voice, panicked and fled faster than they had ever run before. Why? Because they fought with muscle, but they lost to their own imagination. They heard breaking bones and crushing to dust, and they painted a script of their own demise in their heads. At this hopeless moment, a little frog hopped up and offered to help. The crowd of strong animals who had fled now watched from a distance, mocking him. "If an elephant ran away, what can a frog do?" But you see, the frog didn't have size, but he had clarity. He didn't look at the fear of others. He looked for the truth. He went closer to the cave and shouted, "Come out and face me." And from the shadows, a tiny, slow creature crept out. It was just a caterpillar. It turns out, the cave's echo had turned a tiny whisper into the sound of thunder. The enormous fear that paralyzed the forest was nothing more than an illusion magnified by a lack of courage. The story ends with laughter, but the lessons it leaves behind are timeless. 1. Don't ignore small problems. A caterpillar in your cave, if left unaddressed, will soon become a monster in your mind. Never take small problems lightly, or they will grow into much bigger ones later. 2. Fear is an exaggeration. The challenges you face, debt, loneliness, or failure, are often just the echoes of your anxiety. When you dare to step closer and look them in the eye, you'll see they aren't nearly as big as you imagined. 3. Running away is never the solution. The wolf, tiger, rhino, and elephant could all run fast, but they couldn't outrun their own fear. Only the frog, who chose to stand his ground and face the problem, found the truth and a solution. My friend, if you are standing before your own dark cave today, remember that you are not alone. You might not have the strength of an elephant, but you can choose to have the courage of the frog. If this story gave you even a flicker of light to see into your own cave, I want you to join me in a small ritual of courage. Like this video if you are promising yourself today that you will stop running. Share this story with one friend who is struggling right now, just as the rabbit always stood by others. Be their light. And subscribe and hit that notification bell, not just to follow a channel, but to join a community of people who choose to face their fears head on. And here is something special. Leave a comment below with the words, "I am not afraid of the echo." I will personally read and reply to your comments because we are here to support one another. Don't let the caterpillar in the cave keep you from your own kingdom. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in our next journey to find your inner strength.